Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about to start the show, but first, let's give you some deals. The FearFishing Apparel Company, huge, one of the FearFishing Webcast's biggest sponsor. We're super proud of them. You want to save some cash on some fear gear? Go to thefearfishing.com, go to the web store, and save yourself 10% on all orders all the time by using the code WEBCAST. Liquid Mayhem, the favorite, most awesome scent in the world. They've made it so easy for you. You go to liquidmayhem.ca, use the discount code FearFishing, and save yourself 15%. If you're looking for new tires for your awesome ride, Mark Harner, you were just there the other day.
I was.
R&J Tire Discounter in Pickering. If you're in the GTA, stop by and get yourself a deal. Tell them FearFishing sent you. And if you are looking for an amazing F-150 to tow your bass boat like I do, talk to my friends at James Braden Ford. They are amazing, awesome, and they will give you a super deal if you go in there and tell them that you know us. Now let's get this started. You can just fire that up, Scotty. It's not working tonight. Whoa! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the FearFishing Webcast. I'm glad to be here, glad to be alive. It's been a pretty intense week. Yeah, it's exciting.
It's been a scary week for everybody.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a pretty exciting, scary week. The computer is just going nuts. Just crazy. Look at it go, Scotty. You can just close that. Hit the escape button. There you go. Just click X right that on the left corner.
Yeah,
just nuke it.
Relearning
Nope.
how to use this thing.
Yep. There we go. We're awesome. Here we go. Good work, Jamie. That's what Rogan says on his podcast. Good work, Jamie.
Good work, Jamie.
I'm glad to be here. It was a close call, but I pulled through. We'll get to that in a second. We have an amazing crew of people here today. Let's go around the horn. Shake it out, Mr. Hunter. How's it going?
I am excellent. Just got done a beautiful weekend out with the boys.
Woo.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And with me was sitting on the couch there.
Shawn, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, we are excited to have you here. Amber, you're back on the couch,
Yes.
running the IM board.
Yes.
And as always, behind the scenes, Frozen Tundra.
Hey guys,
That's it?
that's it, man.
Shit.
I'll let you start, and then we'll just go around. Keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah.
You usually have
Keep
more
the
to say than
flow
that.
going.
You
We've
usually
had a week and a half to practice
Yeah,
something
what
there,
the
Scott.
fuck?
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm nervous.
You're nervous, eh? You've been
Always nervous.
really
Yeah.
Anxiety?
I could tell by
Yeah.
the start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that
was.
was
Like,
bad.
he-
That was bad.
whenever that computer messes up, he gets in like panic mode, eh? He's like,
Freaking-
no.
He always puts his hands up.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't do
like,
it.
I had one job and I messed it up.
Yeah.
Is that
It's
a little-
all right,
bad.
Is that a little puddle I see down there, Scott?
Oh, shit, son.
Yeah, it's still running down my leg. It's all right.
All right, well, welcome everybody to the show.
What's going on? How come it's on Cooper and Danny stuff?
It wouldn't change the picture.
Huh?
The
Computer
the
is
the
messed
Apple
up?
computer today is just on total not cooperation. Cooper and Danny.
Mark did
We're
it.
just using
Mark did it. He has
I
a
did it.
crush. His kids.
We're just using those famous kids pictures now to get ratings. That's it. I'm probably gonna use that picture the rest of the year. We'll just work that for everything it's worth. Now, we did talk on the last webcast how I had Pillsbury pleurisy.
The doughboy disease.
So, on September 6th, I went to the hospital. They told me I had pleurisy. I went back 4 times since then. Felt pretty shitty for a month. Fishy FLW Championship feeling like shit. No, so I'm just trying to bring everybody up to speed. Felt shitty for a month. On Tuesday, I was at my job. Well, actually, the night before, I woke up at about 1 a.m. Chest pains again. Not feeling so hot. Drove to the Coburg Hospital. did the triage, got in there, and the doctor said that I had pleurisy and that maybe because I was just not taking the pills long enough to get rid of the full viral infection, prescribed more pills and to just take them longer. So I went home, I got some sleep, I went into my job, and I hocked up a big loogie of blood. So right away I went back to the hospital, did the triage, talked to a doctor who basically told me that I was crazy, that there was nothing wrong with me, and he actually asked if I came to the hospital a lot for, I guess he was assuming for attention.
You went for the lollipops.
Yeah,
you?
pretty much.
Yeah,
It's kind of nice hanging out in them hospitals. So basically I bet the doctor that I know there's something wrong. You got to check me out. And he told me if I came back the next morning at 6:30 in the morning, they would do a CT scan as long as that this was not a ER problem, and if it showed nothing, that I wouldn't come back to the hospital about this, and I should probably go see my family doctor.
What a dick.
So I agreed to this, and I went, and the funny thing is that when I woke up in the morning, I kind of had like that, I kind of second-guessed myself, and I was like, man, maybe I just won't go. If the test shows nothing, and I've wasted everybody's time, and, I look like a dick and a crazy person. Because at this point, I thought maybe I'm like crazy.
Not if you got pains in your chest.
Yeah, and maybe at this point I thought maybe this doctor's right. This is all in my head. I'm a crazy person. So I got up anyway. I went, I got myself a nice coffee, drove over there. Little nervous. The nurses were super awesome. Let me tell you, the CT scan, I went in there right away. Lady was super nice. They inject you with this dye. Like I got an intravenous. They inject you with this dye, and when she hits you with the dye, it feels like you're on fire. It's crazy. It feels like you pissed your pants. And she told me,
I don't know how that feels.
Just think of like a warm, soggy diaper while you're sitting
at
in.
that age,
Okay,
Mark.
now
Yeah.
I know. Okay,
Yeah, you're
I
getting
at
there,
that
right?
I know.
Like when you piss those Depends.
So like 5 hours
Yeah.
at the casino, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Like hour 6 into a tournament day. So I do the test. The lady says that she hopes I'm all right. And I go sit in the waiting room with the IV in my arm. All of a sudden, the lady who diagnosed me with pleurisy on September 6th comes running in the room and tells me I have to take these 2 blood thinning pills right now. Sat down, apologized, and explained that I had a blood clot in my lung. And this is what was causing all the problems. So basically, I've been playing like roulette for the last month because they explained that if it would have let go and got into my blood track, if it got to my heart and my brains, I would probably die.
Lights out.
Lights out. Done. Mid-sentence on the floor.
Lights out. That's what you should have done to that
Lights
doctor.
out. What?
That's terrible.
Mark and I already had your stuff all split up.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
I got his rain suit.
Yeah. J-Mac claimed Amber.
Right. Yeah.
J-Mac was straight up like, I'll take Amber if you and those are the ones that today made me feel better when I saw like J-Mac. He's like, if you die, dude, I'll take Amber.
You don't want that. That's reason to live.
Yeah.
Right there.
Poor woman. So basically, I got some. The chest pain is a little better now. I was really excited when she told me when she came in and she's like, I was like, you bastards! I knew there was something wrong. You son of a bitches. And I was like, and then I thought, God damn, it's a good thing I got up this morning and I really, really pushed this because I could have walked out there and, died. And I've been deer hunting and everything. I climbed like a mountain.
We have mountains in Ontario.
It was a big hill.
It was a big hill, but I went up there
stuff.
with a full backpack of hunting gear, my ground blind attached to it, my bow. And when I got to the top of it, I was huffing and puffing, and that was probably, I'm pretty fucking lucky that wasn't the moment she popped. By myself in the Northumberland forest.
At a ski resort, they call it a bunny hill.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was that big.
Mountain.
Yeah.
So, man, that's scary. And I think that I kind of feel that there's, especially in like your generation and older, guys don't like going to the hospital.
No. I have not been to the hospital for a while. Last time I went, I had to get a tetanus shot. He said it was 13 years.
I will tell you that I even I hadn't been to the hospital since I hurt my hand, and I actually went to my family doctor to get a physical because I knew something was wrong, and they didn't pick it up on that. And it was the first physical I'd had since 2007.
And
The-
didn't he
the
tell you
last
that you were
time.
depressed?
Yeah, and he
You're
thought
just
that
depressed.
he actually thought that my issues, like I was depressed. I'm like, I'm not depressed.
The last time I went to the doctor, he stuck his finger in my bum.
Nice.
You're never going back.
So you went back every day.
Yeah.
That is the worst dentist I've ever been to.
So I guess so I'm right now. I got to take it easy. I can't run or do anything nuts. I can't lift anything heavy. I'm all right to hang out and go hunting or fishing, but I'm not allowed to go anywhere alone. Like I probably shouldn't go anywhere unless I tell somebody where I am and what time I should be returning at.
Then it would be too late.
Well, that's the whole kicker thing, right? The doctor was like, when I brought up, can I go bear hunting? He was like, absolutely, where are you going? And he's like, well, there's hospitals close by, but if it lets go, it's really not going to matter. But at this point, because I've had the blood thinners, I should be 99.9% nothing to worry about.
It's kind of like wearing a floater suit ice
Yeah.
fishing, and so they can find your body.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go see.
Freeze to death.
I'm gonna go see a
That's why I
specialist.
got one.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go see a specialist over the next couple of weeks, and he'll get to the bottom of all this. But if you're out there and you think something's wrong with you, make sure you go to the doctor and push it until it's fixed. Like looking back, like I was telling you guys before, when I fished the FLW championship, I was going to bed at like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and Marley would have to like wake me up at 8:30 in the next morning because I was so tired. And I've been complaining to you for a month how like exhausted I am, and how I just don't feel well. I just don't feel well.
It's been more than a month.
Did you push him to go?
Yeah, totally. No, I was like, you
Oh.
need to, like, just relax. Just relax.
Just relax.
Just
You'll be
sleep.
fine.
Yeah.
That's what my
No,
wife would say.
like
Just
you-
relax. You'll be fine. Go back to bed.
Maybe if you go up go for a jog up
Yeah.
a mountain, you'll
Yeah,
be
exactly.
No,
fine.
like we'd get home from somewhere and he'd be like, I gotta do this, and I'm like, whoa, just sleep, just go to sleep for an hour or two, just have a nap, just relax.
And that's a big thing. Like I don't think people realize how, like I'm a busy guy.
Just
like
take a couple aspirin and
I
go
don't
to
I
bed.
don't sleep incredibly well at night, and it bothers me not to get stuff done. It doesn't bother me like not to cut the grass, but it bothers me.
Doesn't bother me either.
It drives me crazy. Like if we have a fear fishing video to edit, I need to do it right away. Like I have to do it or I can't sleep at night. So, but over the last month I've been slacking. Like I didn't even feel like exhausted to post pictures on Facebook or to, have a nap to do the webcast because I was just so tired.
Yeah.
So now we have the answers. The blood thinner's a little weird. You pop one of those. I got to take 2 a day, but it makes you feel like a little wonky when you first take them.
Oh shit! You should share.
Yeah. And then
how many you got? You got refills?
I got refills.
All right, on.
Nice.
And then it's good to go. And then I feel 100 times better today than I did 3 days ago. So
So 1 in the morning, 1 before bed?
yeah, pretty much. And then 3 weeks from now, I got to just take a stronger one a day. Till this,
So they're going to up it for you.
yeah.
If you have a few left, just head over to Trinity College there, and
Yeah.
at lunchtime, make it a few extra bucks.
Yeah,
You're
you
good
got to
to
do what
go.
you got to
There
do.
you go.
Yeah.
The fishing hustle's tough.
They've probably
Yeah.
got better stuff anyways.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of this, let me tell you, I totally forgot to tell you guys. So last Saturday morning, opening day of deer season, I went bow hunting. I got up 5 o'clock in the morning and get all my stuff, and I head into the woods in the pitch black. Like that's scary enough, right? Like you can't see a fucking thing. So I set all my stuff up on where I'd had a cam and I'd seen lots of deer, and I'm sitting there and I know I was having a nice time. It's a beautiful morning, and behind me in my ground blind, I hear footsteps, but it's not really loud, right? It's kind of like, did you hear something or didn't you hear something? Like that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm like, maybe it's the two fawns and the doe. Maybe it's the two fawns walking through that I'd seen on the trail cam a bunch of times. I turn my head, and there is a fucking black bear standing 15 feet away from my window. And you can't shoot black bears in there. Only thing you can hunt is turkeys and
You can shoot anything you want to shoot as long as you yell, "It's coming right for me," before you do it.
Well, absolutely. So that was my plan, right? So I was fucking nervous, right? I'm looking. He was probably like 250, 300 pounds, bigger than I was. And at first I thought maybe a month ago, I had a sow and a cub. And I thought, Jesus Christ, don't be the cub's got to be here and it'll be curious. And I was like, she's going to eat me. So when I noticed the great big head on it, thick head, I was like, well, it's a male. And he never even looked at me. He just walked off into the sunset. And I grabbed my shit and I left.
The mighty hunter.
I was like, oh, shit. You bastard. So now that's why I moved spots to where the hill is, right? And I dope deer. I saw a deer. I went the next night and I saw 2 does, right? And I probably could have plopped a clot right there.
Do you have a doe tag for that area?
No, I don't. So I was just really excited to see them, though, right? And I was like, that is the coolest thing. And the funny thing is that I saw the trail, I set up on the trail, and I'm sitting there, and, I'm kind of looking, glassing, and all of a sudden, I see a white spot, right? I'm like, you some bitch. So I got my binoculars out, and I check it out, and it's the chest on the doe, right? And then I'm like, this is awesome, right? And then the funny thing is, she is staring right at me. She's like, motherfucker, I see you, right? And she's got, like, the freeze on, right? Like, and I'm like,
and deer headlights?
Right? So I can't shoot it because I don't have a doe tag. So I got my phone. I'm like, at least getting a picture of this thing, right? It's pretty exciting.
Did she bust you in your stand, though?
No.
No?
No. She
Good.
just knew something was up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't think she was staring at me. I had all the windows shut but one. I think she was just like, that wasn't there today.
You're hunting out of a ground blind?
I was that day. But it was cool. I was pumped.
Is doe meat nicer than buck meat?
I don't know. Don't look at me.
Buck meat?
Talk to the hunter.
Is buck meat nicer than doe meat?
I find that the meat changes depending on the area you're hunting.
Totally.
What they're eating.
What
If
they're
you're right, it's what
Yeah.
they're eating. If they're back in those hardwoods, if they're just eating those cedars, it's going to be a little more gamey. You get deer down around here where we got lots of corn. They're out feeding on the corn and the grains. They're going to taste
Basically
a little,
cattle.
a
Yeah.
little better, right?
The other thing
it's all in how you prepare it too.
Yes, and I would think it's a whole lot like cattle. A bull is not that great to eat, right? Like they turn that bastard into hamburger. So I would assume like if a deer that got to the 5 or 6 year mark, they'd start to get a little tough.
My brother, he shot lots of deer. He eats deer religiously.
Yeah.
I give a lot of it away to people that don't have a chance to hunt anymore or that would really like to have some. I'm a single guy.
Really?
I don't
'Cause
cook
we
a
like
lot.
to eat. I like to eat some.
Was it
Right?
This isn't Tinder.
Okay.
Single guy
Well,
giving away.
You know,
deer meat.
speaking of that,
We
Cooper's probably on his bed right now watching this, flipping through Tinder.
But no, it's my brother. He shoots lots of deer and he eats lots of deer, and he shot this one old buck.
Yeah.
And it was 300 pounds dressed, like
Huge.
massive. And he said it was one of the best deer he'd ever eaten.
Really?
So
Well, that throws that
I
idea.
think it's all.
It maybe
in your
has
own
something to do
taste.
too
What they
with
eat.
because I've heard people complain about big old bucks not tasting so good, but it could have if they shot them in the rut when the hormones are going and
Oh yeah, big time.
when the neck's big, that it's probably not that. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass here, but I would assume that has something to do with the flavor. It probably has a lot to do with if you gut shot the poor thing and it suffered, that all those chemicals got into the adrenaline and shit. Because if you could have the best steer in the world, and if he goes through like hell before he dies, it tastes like shit. Like that's the important part. When you go to like a really good slaughterhouse, they treat those animals like $1 million till the second right before they die, and that's the
No
best way.
stress.
Yeah, no stress.
Mm-hmm.
Walk them in like eating a mouthful of corn and lights out. Then that's the best way you can kill an animal to eat.
That's how I want to go.
Yeah, me too.
You want
Except for the
corn?
corn part.
Corn
I don't
on
want
the cob?
part.
Right at a McDonald's drive-thru. Good night.
Done. So that was exciting. The bear scared the shit out of me. And speaking of bears, we are going bear hunting this weekend.
We are going bear hunting. I can't believe I just said that. But yes, we are.
You're going to be the cameraman. Unspooled number 11.
Unspooled
that's a
number
good
11. I
number.
hope there's a 12. God,
Yeah.
I hope there's a 12.
Hardwoods and Swamps
Harwoods and
Outfitters.
Swamps, yeah.
Your friends.
Yeah, Mike Harris and Darlene Harris up in the Dorset area.
They contacted you. Tell the story.
We are at the lodge.
Yep.
The lodge. Darlene was working at the restaurant, helping prepare our food, which she did a wonderful job. Thank you very much, Darlene. And we just got talking, and she was saying, I knew Mike and Darlene 25 years ago when we used to go up to the lodge. Actually, a few owners ago. It's been through a couple hands, and I know Mike was right into it. I've had the pleasure of fishing his pond. I guess it's a lake. It's not a pond. He's got a private pond there with bass and pike and just phenomenal fishing. Just phenomenal. And we got talking, and they said, yeah, he's doing this outfitter thing. I said, well, listen, this sounds like the perfect fit.
Yeah.
We're looking for a bear. You have bear.
Well,
Let's
they got
do
lots
it.
of bear up
So
there.
Yeah.
So we've talked in the last few days. They're having us up
We're going Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
You're going to
Yeah.
film.
I am going to film.
And I'm going to shoot.
God, I hope you're going to shoot.
Are you wearing running shoes, Mark?
Yes, I will be.
Yeah.
I can't run, so you should be able to a slice job.
You just got to be faster.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I can beat.
Yeah.
I can beat Clot over here.
All you gotta do is out hustle me.
Yeah.
I will stay if you could just get far enough away that when I throw the bow down and I get the knife out like Rambo and then we square off, I'm 65% sure I can win.
It's
You
gonna
better
be,
film
It's gonna
that
be
one.
hard to film that when I'm running away, isn't it?
You better film that.
So this is going to be a new experience. This
Yeah.
is really awesome. It's
Yeah.
going to be a great trip even if we don't see one to get away,
Yeah, for sure.
hang out in the back countries.
Yeah. So this outfitters, we should talk about that.
Yes.
They have a website, Harwoods and Swamps.com, I believe it is.
Can you Google that?
Can you Google it just to make sure? They do have a Facebook page as well.
Look at Scotty's
That'll
like,
pull
what?
it
You
right
want
up.
me to do something?
Yeah.
Holy
now
shit,
he's
I'm gonna
now
screw
he's
it up.
nervous.
I'm
Now
gonna
he's
screw it
nervous.
up.
Yeah. They have I think they have
I can do
a
it.
cabin that'll hold 16
Wow.
guys, I believe. Very, very rustic out in the bush.
But that's what hunting should be.
Absolutely.
Like that it should be. Since I partaked in this whole thing maybe 8 months ago, I talked to a lot of hunters, and I've come to the realization a lot of hunters are poachers. Not all of them, but there is this group of guys who are just out there to murder anything that is brown, and it's a small percentage. I talked to some guys, and they talk about the experience that I went and did. This is totally how I figured it out. If you say to somebody, hey, you hunt, and if they start the conversation with Bud Light and how they murdered 12 deer in 4 days, they're probably not that into the experience. If you talk to somebody and he's like, yeah, I got my my bow, and this is where we go, and my brother and my dad come, and are my friends, and we spend 5 days pretty much roughing it off the land. I talked to one guy, and the last 2 years they've gone to north of Sudbury, and they bring as much food as they can carry, and they're pretty much eating grouse. And he told me 2 years ago they just about starved after day 4.
Jeez.
But that's part of the experience, right? You know that they don't take any. They take protein bars, and they're drinking out of the creek and filtering their water. That's the story, right? And then the end of their story, they talk about this beautiful deer, and it was more of a story. The buck came out of nowhere. He walked across. I took the buck, and then we cooked the tenderloins over the fire. We quartered it, got it in our backpacks, and the next morning left. Lots of guys I hear, they're just I hear lots that turkey season's open all year round, which it isn't,
No.
right?
No.
Lots of guys who
It is at AMP, buddy.
who do yeah, lots of guys who do we just drive around, we see them in the field and get out and shoot it. That's not the part of hunting I want anything to do with.
That's why you got to go to an outfitter.
Well, especially for somebody like me who's new to this,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is a
it's
perfect way to do it. Mike's
perfect.
going to walk us through all this. I've got a good 8 months of practicing. I was out today and I shot a bunch of arrows. He was really super cool, over the phone. And I talked to him, and he was it's going to be a 20 to 25 yard shot. You have a week to go and really dial that in with your bow. So, he was really helpful before we even got there.
Yeah, they're doing bear, they're doing moose, deer, turkey.
There's grouse on the property.
And grouse. And you know what? This isn't new to these people.
No.
This is a third generation hunt camp guy. Like, he's taken it over from his father that took it over from his father. So these guys, this guy knows his stuff.
You're killing a bear on Sunday.
I know, man. You can't get me all stressed out. I'll plop a clot.
Let me ask you a question. Now, when you say you practiced, have you practiced in your full hunting gear?
I have.
Full face mask?
Everything on.
Everything,
Yep.
the whole deal?
I've been doing it.
Do I get to wear a face mask?
Yes, you do. I brought one for you.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yo, we forgot to mention that
got
part
you
that Shawn's going to hunt. Like, are you nervous? Have you ever been hunting?
I went duck hunting once. Basically, we sat and froze in a boat for hours and got nothing.
Aw.
So this is going to be quite the experience for both of us.
I think we saw a seagull.
Oh, no shit, eh?
Boom!
Isn't that the worst? Isn't that the worst when your buddy tells you this huge story about how, and then you get there and it sucks? Like, I mean, I went to lakes with guys when I was a teenager that didn't even have fish in them.
Even the
experience
dogs
is what
look
you
bored.
make it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just totally cool. I'm going to pick Mark up Sunday morning from the trailer, and we're going north. And we're going to have a hell of a story for the next show, and hopefully we will finish this unspooled 11.
What time are you crawling into your stand at?
They asked us to be there for noon.
For noon? So
Before
you're going
noon.
for an afternoon hunt?
Yep.
Before noon,
Good.
they said, yeah.
Yeah, good, perfect.
So
Awesome.
yeah, I did. I can't remember what I've been watching, like a lot of YouTube stuff, and I've been practicing with like my full hunting gear on since like mid-July. Like I would even take my big thick camo coat
Yep.
in my shorts with a face mask on to practice. I've been practicing with my gloves on.
You have to.
Gloves on, and it makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not as soon as you do it, you're like, oh, okay, but it's kind of like you just got to get the feel. When I shot the flu feathers today, when you pull I never shot a flu feather, which is basically for anybody at home, like an old school, great big feathered arrow so that you can hunt grouse or geese and you don't lose your arrows, right? I wasn't expecting when you pull it back, you got to look through the feathers now because it's like a puffball in your face. And then if I would have just went hunting, I'd have been like, what the fuck is this? Right?
Is it a special arrow for a bear?
No, we're shooting badass muzzy broadheads. It's like
Is that what he wants to use, Shawn?
we're good.
Yeah, you're okay with a good sharp broadhead.
Brand new out of the
like,
package.
Yeah, I don't mind the fixed broadheads. They're all right. For deer, I like to shoot expandables. For moose, I like a fixed broadhead.
When we're talking expandables, I understand
Isn't that a
the
Disney movie?
expandables.
Yeah.
Expendables.
And it's not a
Shit.
Disney
Not a
movie,
Disney
too.
movie.
Have you ever had one not open up?
I've never had one not open up. No, but I've heard about them not.
That used to
opening
be
up,
like
so-
a concern when they first came out.
Well, you also got to take care of them too, right?
Yep.
You got to inspect them before you climb up into a tree. Make sure that maybe there's not some dirt in it or something.
Yep.
Because the mechanical joints in there are so small, and I've seen guys jab an arrow into the ground, pick it up, stick it right back in their quiver, right? It's very, very important to inspect that stuff before you loose an arrow on an animal, man.
Yeah, for sure. The worst thing I think that I don't even know if I could sleep with myself if I wounded an animal.
Oh, it's
like
tough.
that's terrible.
Yes,
Like
I've done it.
yeah,
I've
it
done
must be like a hard feeling. I was talking to Amber this the other day. Like I grew up on the cattle farm and we sent thousands of cattle to slaughterhouses. I mean thousands and thousands. And when like cattle that we hand fed and just came time. And I remember my grandfather telling me, and I think this applies a lot to hunting, that when you send them, you should at least have a moment where you feel bad. You've taken a life.
Oh, sure.
Right? You need to have. I talk to lots of guys who don't give a shit. That's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like when we send, like this has to happen. I'm sure when I shoot the bear, I'll have that moment of that sucks, but it's exciting at the same time when we're gonna eat the animal and nothing's gonna go to waste. But I think you really need that moment of that kind of sucks. I had to take a life.
Are you going to make a rug?
I don't know. Hammer might let me.
Yeah.
You going to make a rug?
Yeah.
A booty call rug.
A booty call rug.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Meet you on the bareback.
We'll put it in front of our electric
yeah.
fireplace.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do a rug.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh, yeah.
is
Have you ever skinned a bear before?
No, that's
No?
why we have Mike.
Yeah, Mike's gonna do it all.
Yeah, we
yeah,
told you. Yeah.
He's gonna
Oh,
skin
good,
it,
perfect.
quarter it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got us all ready to go. We are.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's totally.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I
still,
think.
it's still pretty warm. You got to have that meat taken care of. Like
Yeah, for
right away,
sure.
right?
Yep.
But,
you know, and from having like growing up on the cattle farm, if he helps me quarter it, I can do the rest from after that here at the house.
beautiful. Debone it. And
Do you
Yeah,
remember? Do you
yeah,
remember
yeah.
when he wanted to hang it in the kitchen? Remember that conversation,
Yeah.
Amber?
He still wants to.
Yeah, that'll be deer
That'd be
season.
cool.
That'll be deer season. We'll have podcasts with bucks in the living room.
Have you ever field dressed an animal? Period.
Yeah, I have. I've
Yeah.
been with my friends. You know, a long time ago, my buddy shot a deer and couldn't find anybody else, and I went out and helped and drag it out and the whole 9 yards. And I'd been at the farm like back in the 80s when I was a little kid. They did a lot of.
When I was a little kid.
Back in the 80s.
They did. I was there.
I was
Okay, here I'll tell you a
driving.
story. My uncle had this. My great uncle had this buddy named George McLennan, who had about 140 hound dogs, and he used to run hounds for deer. And he refused to eat beef that had been hung. Right? So once a year, which is really strange, he would come out to the farm. And I used to go to his house all the time when I was a kid to play with these hound puppies. Like he would have puppies, like a whole factory of puppies. Like I'm trying to. He's a super nice guy, and he's got this really super nice garage. But every tree on his 4 acres of property had a hound tied to it. He was awesome, and they were like, right. So once a year they'd have a shitload of puppies, and we'd go over there like 5 or 6, and we would play with like a whole herd of hound puppies.
That
And
was
they'd
like
chase
at
us
my
around.
house.
Yeah. So George McClellan used to come over once a year, and he'd go out in the barnyard and pick a cow and pay my uncle and shoot it, and then basically he had like this old Cadillac. Remember, like from the 70s with this giant door. He would pop the trunk and he would have like a whole butchering kit, and he would butcher that thing on the front end of a loader of a tractor and put it in, and he would be done in like 4 hours.
Wow.
And I can
Man
remember
with a
standing
plan.
there. Yeah, I can remember. And you know what? Like, he wasn't like the sanitary didn't give a shit. He would gut it, like he would have it up by the hindquarters and get the chainsaw off and do rid with the fucking rib cage and the head and let her spill on the ground. And look at Mark. Mark's like, what have I got myself into?
I can't wait.
And I would be like 6 years
thought
old.
This was a fishing show.
And I would be like 6 years old standing there like in amazement that this ever happened. Right? Like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh yeah, you used to get to see
I
coons
think
getting skinned and all.
I think
kinds
a lot of
crazy
society's
shit.
problems today is that people aren't in touch where like they just go to the store and buy steaks and they don't even realize that that was a cow.
Right.
And you know what? That cow, when you go out to big box store and you buy a box of steaks, that is probably the shittiest treated cow on the planet, and that's why it's so cheap. And that's just a fact, right? To get like grass-fed organic cow, you gotta pay out the wazoo for that.
Big bucks.
Huge money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Going to hunt a bear, that bear has roamed and done whatever he's wanted for how many years, and in 10 minutes gonna be over. Hopefully not even that long. He'll just come and, you know, he'll get pricked, and then he won't even understand what's happening. He'll get dizzy and lay down and die. And he lived a great life. I certainly think that's better than some cow that was born, put into a pen, fed the living shit out of, and then taken to the slaughterhouse.
True. I've
Hey,
never eaten bear.
Oh, it's good.
I like it too.
It's good. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard it's very mild.
I asked Joan. She said she wouldn't eat bear,
Really? Oh,
Don't tell her.
but I sure hope she'll cook it.
You know, the
You
first time I had bear, I had a hard time eating it.
Really?
I had a because
Did
I
you?
knew it was a bear. Yeah, I had a hard time eating it. John Logan brought some to the archery club, and here, you got to try this. And I was like, I didn't want to feel bad, right? So I tried it. I had a hard time, and then I was about halfway through, and I was like, you know what, this is all right.
Like, what did he have? Like
Bear sausages.
sausages?
Oh.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what
yeah.
was wrong with the bears? Like what was?
It's a mental thing.
It was a mental thing. Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
really?
Yeah. I had a real hard time wrapping my head around. I'm about to put bear into my mouth. So.
Huh? I'm all about it.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, no doubt, baby.
You're
That
a
was all
trooper.
right.
I'm the bear.
You know what? When I was a kid, stop it. When I was a kid, we used to have all these different. Well, we'd have roast beef dinners at least once a week. We lived on a farm, but half the time it wasn't beef, and we found out that we were being fed other things that hunters would bring to my dad because we let them hunt on our land. They would give us meat.
Squirrels.
And they were always like, all the kids would be like, oh my God, Mom, this is the best roast beef ever. And they would be like smirking. We wouldn't know until later when we were adults. And they were like, this is what it was. Bear, deer.
Raccoon.
I really like
Beaver.
cooking. I really like to cook. And my buddies used to shoot geese all the time and drop off goose breasts. And lots of people don't like them. But I would chop them up into like strips, soak them in soy sauce, and make stir fry out of them.
Nice.
Like all the time. I would my buddies didn't want to eat them at all, and they would shoot them and drop them off at the house, and I would cook them.
I wrap them in bacon.
Yeah.
Soak them in maple syrup.
Ooh.
Oh,
the
that
oven.
sounds so good.
My mother used to make a
Dynamite.
kick-ass rabbit stew. Oh, God.
No way.
Yeah.
I hear they really smell when you skin them.
Oh, they're good.
Rabbit's one thing I never really.
It's
not
pretty
enough
tough around here to
patience
see a
for.
rabbit. Like in town,
Oh,
Yeah.
come,
lots
to
of
my,
rabbits.
come to my house.
Tons
buddy.
of
Oh
rabbits.
my
I got them on
God.
the lawn.
Yeah, I got them everywhere. There's probably one sitting on my front
So-
lawn right now.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I am excited.
It's gonna be cool.
I'm excited.
We'll have a good
I'm
time.
nervous. It's
Did you saw the grizzly bear incident on Facebook where the
I-
gentleman got
I
nuked?
I did.
I think that a lot of people, like I was telling, a black bear is not nearly like. There's big black bears, but the average one's not a whole lot bigger than you are. Would you say?
The average one, no.
No.
But on our property, we got 400 or 500 pounders.
Yeah, for sure. There's like it's kind of like the bass world. There's 7s and 8s out there, but most
yeah.
of them are like 3s, 3.5s.
No, I wish.
They're nowhere. They're nowhere the size of a grizzly bear, or have the aggressiveness of a grizzly bear.
Grizzlies are super aggressive.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I saw a Facebook video today, and these guys are in like a lodge, and this grizzly bear just happens to walk through like the property. It's the size of a Volkswagen. Like it's
Wow.
gigantic.
They're big bears.
So if you haven't seen the video, this gentleman goes Todd something, I can't remember his name. He goes for a hike. I read in the post that every 30 seconds to 1 minute he yelled out, "Hey bear," so that even if he was in Montana, even if he ran into one, it would hear him and there shouldn't be an issue. Well, he stumbled up between a mama bear and 2 cubs, and she charged him, and I saw in the video that he took the bear spray and put it right to her, and she had ripped him to shreds, stopped. He got up and picked himself up, started walking down the trail, and she had either followed him or she just happened to meet him up, and he went at him again. And then he walked 3 miles to his truck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
saw
got her
him.
twice.
I saw him.
Yeah,
He got off pretty light, actually. Did
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah.
for sure, because in the reverence, he had to do like a whole another 6 months of that shit, not just 3 miles, right?
Yeah.
But that's scary. That's a scary thought.
And he gets attacked by a bear. Instead of getting to the hospital, he
He
stops.
made a Facebook video.
He makes a video.
And I
of it.
actually,
Right?
yeah,
Right?
for sure. But I actually looked him up on Facebook, and he is like he has a closed account. Like he only had something like 127 friends. Like I think that he was doing a service to everybody, but rather than trying to get publicity. But it went like hot fire.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
see, this is the thing. I think that we should be able to carry a restricted weapon into the bush when we're bear hunting.
Yeah.
What I mean by restricted weapon here in Canada, a restricted weapon for us is a handgun, right?
Mhm.
I think we should be allowed to carry that sidearm with us.
Yeah.
For that reason alone.
It's tough to even get a handgun in Canada.
It is super tough.
And I heard from some of the guys I work with that, if you're going to go to the range, you have to phone the police and notify them that you're leaving your house with the gun and what time you'll be home.
Yeah, you need an authorization to transport, authorization to carry. Right?
Yeah. But yeah, I can totally see why, it wouldn't be a big deal for anywhere in grizzly country to have a sidearm. Other than that guy, I hope he's not a tree hugger. But no, he was an elk hunter.
Mm-hmm.
He
was out scouting.
He was out scouting elk.
Yep.
Wow.
I wonder how that makes a vegan feel. Like they protect, every living being. Then they go in this nice scenic route, and then this grizzly just fucks them up. Does that make them want to go home and fucking eat meat? Or are you just like, that's it? Screw the animals. You ever seen, Rogan talks about this, there's an episode of some like reality show on the Discovery Channel. And this lady in her 60s lives on like in the backwoods on like an airstrip, a place where maybe once or twice a month they fly in. So she's out collecting berries, and gets nuked by this grizzly. Breaks her hip, cracks her skull, breaks her arm. She crawls 3 or 4 miles back to her cabin, lives there for 3 weeks looking after herself. They finally come with the plane, take her to Anchorage, Alaska. They fix her up, and you know what she does? She flies home, gets a gun, finds the bear, shoots it, and then eats them.
That's one tough chick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
Atta girl.
that's the circle of life right there.
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot of pleasure in.
That's that women species.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what that is.
Yeah, like.
Praying mantis.
Yeah, I'm going to eat them. She's probably in the hospital. She was in the hospital for like 3 months, and she tracked them down.
Scheming this.
Yeah, just like, oh, you motherfucker, when I get home, you're going to get it.
Look at the crap they're feeding me.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man. But there must be something very satisfying about sitting down with that grizzly bear. And I heard they taste like shit, and like they're very, very fishy. And I watch a lot of hunting shows, but you know, and they're tough. Like they're big, strong animals. Just sitting down gnawing on that thing, just.
Darlene Harrison
Yes.
Yes.
and her daughter and Mike are all watching the show right now.
Perfect.
And they've said hi.
Nice.
And I
Hello.
think you might have said their name wrong. It's
Oh.
Harrison.
What did we say?
I don't know, but it said last name is Harrison, by the way.
Oh, way
I
to
said
go,
Harrison.
Mark.
I thought I said Harrison. Did I not?
You've
say
been
Harrison?
messing that up for
Who knows?
25 years. I have a blood clot. I don't remember
Okay.
anything.
If I did not
I
say
think you
Harrison,
said Harris, Mark Hunt.
touche.
Touche. Bum, bum,
Tundra.
bum. Now, Shawn, let's get into your story. You were into martial arts as a kid.
Yeah.
You were almost going to participate in the Olympics in jiu-jitsu?
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. A bunch of my buddies went to the Olympics.
Really?
For Taekwondo, yeah. I got in some trouble before all that.
Yeah.
I was suspended from ITF and WTF federations of Canada. I was charged with assault causing bodily harm. And that kind of
Tailwind?
stopped the old martial arts.
Did he deserve it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't just give it out for giving it out.
No.
Yeah, if I'm giving it to you, you're getting it for a reason.
Now, you were, you're one of the nicest guys in the whole world.
Yeah.
It's kind
try
of
to
hard
be.
to, like, now that I've got to know you and talk to you, to even look back and see this.
Well, when I was younger, I come from everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
When I was young, we come from a broken home. There's me and my two brothers, right?
Yeah.
And from the time we were 5 years old, well, I was 5 years old. My younger brother, Miles, a year, we're Irish twins. He's 11 months and 3 weeks younger than me, not even a year.
Okay.
And then when there was our youngest brother, Tyler, he's 3 years younger. We had, we went with our mother, and we didn't really have adult supervision very often. Mom was busy working. She had to take
Yep.
care of us, right? And it was what it was. We got up in the morning, she had our lunches made. We had to make our own breakfast, off to school, get herself, gone after school, make her own dinner, clean up. She got back from work late at night. So we were kind of like wild dogs,
Yeah.
So when I, into my early teens, I think I was 14, my mom called my dad and said, I can't do it with this kid anymore. He's wild. He needs somebody to wring his neck, right? So my dad took me and put me right into martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole time my mom had me, I was in gymnastics through
Yep.
public school. And through gymnastics, I was in enrichment courses. I was an Olympic hopeful. I was gifted athletically.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And
Built like a shipwreck house now.
Wow, it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So my dad took me down to Leo Wong's Taekwondo, and Leo Wong was a Canadian champion. He was actually Jung Park's first black belt when Jung Park came to Canada. And my first class with Leo was a private one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad sat in on the class, and Leo went through the basics, so I didn't feel out of place when I took my first class with a whole group.
Yep.
So after that, he said, okay, go change. He looked at my father. He's like, please let me train your son. He's like, he'll be a champion. So my first class, Leo had 3 sons, Raymond, Richard, and Chris. he told them, take him and teach him. So I had these 3 junior black belts take me and just fill me with knowledge.
Yeah.
Just fill it with me. And, 3 weeks later, I started tournament fighting and carried on through there. So I was with them for a few years, and then I went with Tiger Ramjes, and that's where I got into a little bit more of the mixed martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't just Taekwondo anymore. It was Jiu-Jitsu, Shotokan, Aikido, and it was awesome going through all that. But then I got into some trouble, and I stopped training. I lived on my own since I was 15 years old, right? And
Yeah, that's tough, man.
well, I tried to do school and work at nights too, right? So
Yeah.
all my teachers knew this. I started to miss, more morning classes, a little more morning classes. Finally, I got so far behind. I think I was 17 years old. I was in my grade 12, and they said, "Shawn, you're not going to do it this year." I was like, so they're like, "You're not going to graduate." I said, "So I don't have to come back?" They said, "No." I said, "I got to get another job.
Yeah.
Get another job. This is awesome." So I started framing. So I worked full-time framing and full-time in the bar for 5 years, and then opened my own company when I was 22. And then, the money started rolling in pretty good, and I got pretty heavily into the drugs,
Yeah.
right? Partying all the time. Young guy, lots of cake, let's rock and roll, right? So it was, and I never hid it from anybody. I've never hid it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that guy. I do what I do, and I'm self-built, everything I have,
Yep.
right? So, for a bunch of years, I was just partying my life away, and it was too much.
Mhm.
It was too much. So one day I sat down, I'm like, you know what, this is going nowhere. I'm going nowhere in life, nowhere. It's just the same repetitive motion. Get up, bust my ass all week, and then rock and roll all weekend. So I said, I got to do something. And my brother was just hounding me. Please, come with me on the weekends. Come with me. Let's go. Let's do this. So I got into hunting. I got into archery.
Mm-hmm.
And I got back into fishing. And that kind of stuff, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
You
party.
You don't do that from a night full of cocaine.
No.
You don't. You're still up.
Yep.
And then you're up all day.
Yep.
And then you're just, your week's ruined, right? You're a zombie.
Yeah.
And that's not how I wanted to spend my life. So I started hunting and started fishing and golfing, anything I could do first thing in the morning.
Yep.
And it really got me away from all that.
I think that, and you're one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I would have never guessed. The first couple times I met you, I would have never guessed this story. And, there's for sure some kid listening who's going to listen to this or listen to this. And, they always see the end game, but nobody ever talks about the story on how they got here. Right? That story is just like when I was younger, I did a shitload of drinking. I can remember I went to the bar every weekend, drank till 1 o'clock, and then I came and got my boat and I went fishing. And I never, most people don't, I never lived with a woman till I was 31. All I did was party and fish. And I really didn't stop until I found out I was going to be a dad. Right?
I'll do it.
I got a text message saying, you're going to be a dad. Right? And I was like, whoa, hold on a second. And that froze the brakes. But it's the same thing as you. People, they meet Shawn. What a great guy Shawn is. But they never heard about the story on how you got to be this guy. And there's some kid going through the same thing out there right now. And listening to this will help him.
I hope so. I
So do
really
I.
do.
And more people should be open about this kind of stuff.
Well, I am who I am, and I've done what I've done,
For sure, yeah. It is what it is. And
Exactly.
if somebody can learn from mistakes, that's the best part of being honest, right?
I think that's the meaning of life.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be a politician.
No, yeah. And,
You'd make a good one.
it's kind of like when you meet a young person, they're going to do what they're going to do. You can just give them the, this is what's going to happen. And, it kind of, everybody's story kind of, it's not the same story, but it kind of falls on the same path. The only thing is there's probably 100 guys who didn't go hunting and fishing or find that one thing and they're still doing it.
Well, I'll tell you something. The group of people that I've met through hunting and fishing, like just in the last couple of years, just through fishing, like I've had a chance to hang out with Dave Mercer, Bob Azumi, like our club, like all those guys at the club, like it's just like Danny and Cooper, Gooch. I could drop a million names in fishing. And like through Facebook, guys, I've met through Facebook, like Scotty Berry, and like just crazy amount of guys that I've come through for this fishing. I would have never met any of these guys or had any of these experiences if I was still rocking and rolling with my old ways.
Yep, same as all of us too, right?
Yeah.
True.
You know?
True.
You know,
So
and that's the thing.
Worth the change.
And the hard part when you're partying all the time is I really didn't see like a problem because you're in this. It's not a problem. Like this is what I do. I go to work Monday to Friday and I drink on the weekends and I party a lot, right? I can remember when I was 27, my grandfather died. I can remember thinking as soon as he died, I quit drinking and women for 1 year. Never, and all like I didn't date anybody.
We're all like,
Man,
yeah,
I'm
right.
calling
Like,
bullshit.
well, maybe
I'm
not. Maybe
out
not
there.
all the women, but I gave up like the crazy. And you know why? Because I felt so bad, and I was like, I went and did all this drinking and partying, and I could have spent all that time with my grandfather, and now I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't a big Christmas guy. Like I hated Christmas until I had Ashton. I hated Christmas. I would
Same
go.
as me.
I would go with my buddies drinking on Christmas Eve, and you know, and party, and you know, I really didn't give a shit. And I'd show up to my grandfather's house on, you know, Christmas Day afternoon, hungover, and you know, he's a cool guy, and he understood. Like you're being, but when it's over, you're like, fuck, man, I really like Christmas. Like, wow, I really wish I hadn't fucked that one up. So, the big thing, and I get from messages from young people all the time, like, about fear fishing. Wow, you're really lucky you got to do all this, you got to do all that, man. But they don't see that, like, they don't understand what it took to get here for me, right? I go through a lot of shit, just as you did, you know.
Sure.
And that's the important part. It just doesn't happen overnight. You just don't become, you know, where you're getting to when you, like it seems so far away when you're 19 and you can go to the bar and all of a sudden you get your first job and you don't really have bills and you know it's just it's money, right? But then you know, and maybe something shitty happens and you get down in the dumps. But if more people aren't honest about their story, these kids will never, like, somebody will listen to this and it'll change how they do things.
I hope it does. I hope it does. And you
Big
know, it's
time.
up to you. It's up to you to do it. Up to you to make the decision to change your way. Basically.
You can help people though too, right? Like Joe Ford,
Yep.
one of my best friends on the entire
Another
planet,
super duper guy.
right?
Yep.
Like amazing. I'd known him since high school. Fell into contact with him for a few years. Ran into him. He was doing a thing at Sale there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I gotta get you out fishing. Let's go." And that was like right when I was turning it all around. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. You know, and I started hanging out with Joe all the time. We started doing a lot of tournaments. He got me into the club, and like my life has just been, ever since then. It's been unbelievable. Like, I live the dream.
And
That's
let
awesome.
me tell you, you're one hell of an angler too.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, he is.
Right.
You are.
I can catch
You
a
can
mean
catch the
rock
fish.
bass. Yeah, if they're down there, I'm
Oh
getting them.
my God.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you're young, it's the thing to do to party. When you don't, like, the party stories, you know, I can remember going to home, like, to work on Monday with the biggest hangover, or I'd been in some stupid fight over something. I can't even remember what it was about. And all the old guys being like, "You're an idiot. You're wasting your and you and me thinking, you guys are just
I
old,
called
boring."
that the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are just old and boring. But now when I look back and like, you know, I wasted my 20s doing that, and I could have done so much more. Like Cooper and Danny, they're way ahead of the curve of the rest of us. It's going to take me
Those
another.
kids are old souls.
Yep, it is going to take me like another 9 years in Coop's life to get to where he's at now. So when you like, but now, you know, I'm still a young guy at 34, but my like fishing and hunting, I got like real deal stories now. You know, something I can be really proud of. Like if we pull this bear hunt off, we'll never forget this the rest of our lives.
Oh, no.
We'll be talking about this.
You won't.
No, this is
And every
this is
time you
want a
talk about
claw.
it, you'll feel that
Yeah.
euphoria.
how we felt.
I want a claw next.
Even though you're not. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Whoa, whoa,
Alright.
no, they're staying on the bear rug.
They do actually.
Well, do you know what? It's gonna be
Maybe we'll get lucky and have one.
3-clawed bear.
three
you could probably take out one of his
You can
teeth.
come late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We never thought about that. But even though you're not actually participating in the hunt and all you're going to do is film, it'll be our story.
Yeah.
Do you
we
know what
have
I
a
mean?
Story.
Ours.
And it's better. It's better than your story. Amber.
I don't know. But if
See?
we pull this off, we'll have had a miracle.
Right?
But those are the stories, right? Like when you go to I can remember being younger and going to a tournament, getting my ass kicked, and just being so mad, like angry. Now, I come to the
Sorry.
realization that shit happens. You can't win them all. I'm not a Johnson brother, and this year, especially with when we rented cottages and we went for 5 days. When I left there, I didn't so much care about the fishing. I was like, wow, I had a good time. The kids were there. We all hung out at night. You play guitar. We sat around the fire, And then I was like, well, this is the part I really love about fishing. It's not so much a very small part of it is actually catching the fish. And it's kind of like the same thing. When you find some guys who are into hunting and they're good to talk about, and, you're like, man, it's not about killing animals. It's about right now. Like, this is,
Big time.
yeah, for sure. And like how excited like when I got home from seeing the does, I would ran in the door and I'm like, holy shit, I saw deer. I'm like, this is gonna happen. I was
laying
like,
in bed smiling.
yeah,
Like,
for sure. And I was like,
That's awesome.
and I was like, if I've been twice on my own, and I'm like learning this shit as I go, and I've already had a bear walk by me, and I was like, I figured out enough to at least be in the area where there was 2 deer. I still got 3 months to make this happen.
You do.
That's right. All I got to do is have one fuck up once. Like, I just got to be smarter than him once.
Mike's gonna make it happen.
He is, man. This is
Yeah.
going to be great.
Yeah.
Poor
I can't
Mike
wait.
has
I
a
can't
lot of
wait.
pressure on him.
And this is the fun part since we upgraded Unspooled, that we're going to get to tell this story. The first part of our story is going to be about the FearFishing tournament,
Yes.
and then we're going to roll into this experience.
That I got my arse kicked down my own lake.
We might as well bring that up. Yeah, you got third. You did all
I
right.
got third. Yeah. And you know what? I only got third because of my
It was-
awesome daughter.
And that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. That we
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You got
You
to fish
did.
with.
She caught them. She caught the 2 big ones. I'll tell you that right now. I'll admit
Crushed
it.
'em.
Yeah,
You
that
got
was
to fish with
awesome.
Hannah,
Yeah.
and I got to fish with my stepdaughter Emma.
Yeah.
And even when so how long we've been together now? How long you lived here? 2 years.
I think we've been together 2.5 years.
So when I first met Emma, she hated fishing. Absolutely hated fishing. She
Oh, not
thought
Hannah,
that this
not
was the
Hannah.
dumbest thing in the world. Now, she is like my little best friend. She
Nice.
comes and checks trail cams with me. Like, she'll ask, when are we going to check the cams? Do you have the cams out? Can we go check them? I said 2 years ago she would never go on the bass boat.
And she's buddies with all of us too.
Yeah. She's
everywhere
like
we
one
go,
of the
it's
crew
like, hey,
now.
what's up?
Like,
Yeah.
she loves working FLW.
Yeah.
Loves going
Yeah,
to
so
fishing
did
tournaments. And now, like, I was like, hey, do you want to go to a fishing tournament? And she was like, absolutely. And she was up before me on tournament day. Like, she was ready to go. We're late for school 3 days a week. And she she was ready to go. Tournament. And she got in the boat, and usually she's pretty nervous, and she was like, let her rip. She caught some bass. We had a great day.
Hannah caught all of our bass.
That's awesome.
No, she did awesome. So
Hey,
proud of her.
But that's really cool. And it's really, it's really just good to see the girls are doing it.
Yeah, I took her fishing a couple weeks before, and she caught like maybe a 4.5
I saw the
pounder.
picture.
A beautiful, beautiful fish. You should have seen the dancing and the screaming she did on that. It was pure. It was natural, pure, honest joy.
That's
it really
awesome.
was. It was fantastic.
And
Loved it.
it is awesome.
Did she dance and scream too, Mark, or just you?
Both of us.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
both of us. And she's going, help, help, help. And I won't help. I've never helped her. I've never helped her from day one. I said, if you want to fish, you take your own fish off. Bait's not a problem because we use plastic, right? We
Yep.
don't use live bait. she's I said, look, you got the best gear money can buy to get that fish in the boat. You do not need help. You get it. And she did it.
And it,
You know.
and like talking about Emma, like we went from a girl who would have no part of fishing, and when we went to the championship, from what I heard, they spent 6 hours a day on the dock while we were fishing the event fishing. That's all they did when they were up there. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And then the kids went trick-or-treating after.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a whole load of candy.
Now we missed the most important part
It
of
was
this.
Halloween at
Oh.
the trailer park. We have to tell people that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was Halloween at the trailer park. So
Hannah
Hannah and
free.
Emma.
Yeah, they went
Free stuff.
acid trip at the trailer park.
Yep, they went in their fear gear. They
Yeah.
dressed exactly the same.
Yeah.
So
Now
trick-or-treating.
you finished third. Emma and I finished second,
Yeah.
but the Tundra won.
The Tundra.
Yeah, man.
The
Those are
Tundra.
bars.
Marley put me on some fish, and we nailed them.
I guess we all had something to do with me, you, Marley,
Yep.
both fishing with girls.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now Marley told me
At least us girls can fish.
you've been talking about how slow your game is on the webcast and that you don't catch fish. And Marley's, as soon as he got in the shore, he's like, that fucking guy's a sandbagger. He's like, he knows what he's doing. What do you got to say for yourself? The
Not much.
the cat's
That was
out of the
just
bag
lucky.
now. Like
Just got lucky.
just got lucky.
Yeah.
I hear-
I still want my trophy though.
What was it like fishing with Marley?
Great, man. Great.
Did he go slow? Did he let you run
Slow.
the trolling motor?
Slow. He was. No, he wasn't slow. He fished fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
You must be rubbing off on them.
So were you
Yeah.
flipping? What were you doing?
We did flip some docks. We found some deep cattails with some weeds around them that kind of produced some fish.
I heard you laid like a hammer down on one of those weed mats.
Where'd
Oh,
you
yeah.
go? Where'd you go into Buckhorn?
I don't know. We're all over
Pigeon?
the place.
Listen to
Shamar.
you.
Started in Pigeon.
Don't know where I was.
Yeah.
Don't know where I was. I was out in the lake somewhere.
We started in Pigeon for some smallies, which didn't quite work out. But yeah. worked our
That's a
way back.
fucking tough body of water, Tri Lakes.
It's huge.
It is.
And there's so much different stuff on it.
I went through one time, and I know where a row of docks is, sand, and I'll bet you in 6 docks, Marley and I had 20 pounds. I've never caught a smallie there since.
Smallies are
So
like that.
weird. It's just like and I think the biggest problem is it all looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you never fish there and you pull up in your bass boat, you're like, oh, we're gonna crush them, and then you realize, and then probably about 1 o'clock that day, it'll be like, there's no fish in this lake.
I don't
Right.
think it matters what lake you go to. You look at it and you go, oh my God, that looks so good.
Oh,
and then you catch nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so on your
Raven.
yeah, let's get into that. You're
Raven
big-
looked lights out.
Really?
It
Did
looked
it
like
not
a
look
lights out lake. I
gorgeous?
thought we were gonna crush them all day Saturday, and we crushed them. Like I crushed them. We caught probably 100 fish, but like 100 fish like that.
Wow.
Like could not get anything.
So
over
who
2
was
pounds.
leading after day one?
Who was leading after day
Gooch.
one? Gooch.
Gooch. He's a sandbagger
Gooch
too.
was up by 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He
Gooch
got
did-
17 pounds. 17
No,
and change.
on day one.
On that Raven. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't now listen. So Gooch comes in, he brings a giant bag. Did he tell you what he did, or was it like hush hush?
Everybody was fishing the same stuff.
Yeah.
So
Really?
I don't get why
Yeah.
I got a skunk in my first tournament ever. I zeroed.
Wow, Mark.
I'll admit it. It feels good to get it off my chest.
I'm sorry.
That's tough though, right? When you're like, what did he do? I don't like. That's
We're
the thing
fishing
I
the same-
Yeah, 'cause
love.
I hammered him all day long.
And it just nothing.
Hammered
No,
him.
We
no
caught
size.
small
And then-
fish.
then-
we caught small ones.
Then his day on Saturday, I had on Sunday, and he had my day on Sunday.
Oh, we smashed the living crap out of him.
Where'd you
on
fish day
Sunday.
2?
We fished Lake of Bays.
Okay,
Unbelievable.
that's my favorite thing about tournament fishing.
Yeah.
When you're having the worst day of your life, somebody, probably 2 or 3 teams, is smoking the living shit out of them.
Yeah.
There's somebody on this body of water we're on right now who cannot keep them off their line.
And it's usually Gooch.
But that was close. Over
Oh,
2
was it-
days of fishing, 2 different lakes, it came down to 0.02 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Between first
Paul.
and second. Paul
LeBlanc
yeah.
is this guy's a lights out angler, man.
Oh,
Lights
yeah.
out.
Excellent.
Every tournament he's coming in with a sack.
Yeah.
All
He's just-
largies too. We're fishing Lake of Bays, and he brings in 21 pounds of largies.
No way.
Wow.
Like a bays.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
He won the classic there last year, Paul did.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
With largies.
Yep.
That's nuts. I remember St. Francis, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Chong and Brown Ridge won on largemouth. Can you imagine that?
Oh, Francis.
On Francis. Somehow, some way.
You know what? I'm going to fish that one day.
What's that?
St. Francis.
It was dope, eh?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Poor guy had to watch the whole thing.
9 hours. I was thinking 8 hours, but it wasn't. It was 9
9
that
hours.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? I got to
'cause the
watch
fog
that
delay?
graph for 9 hours, so I'm a way better graph reader.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's a weird body of water. Like, bouncing a tube at 6 mile an hour is a different feeling.
High current in that water, eh?
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. Like, we were right beside, like, the dam holding back the St. Lawrence where we caught our fish. And it was like you were moving.
Yeah, I was talking with Scotty Berry about it, and he's like, the wind was blowing so hard this way, but you were going this way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah, it was crazy fishing.
But unreal. Like, and the first couple of days of pre-fish sucked. Like, I was a little worried. But when we got onto them on what to do, it was awesome. And, like, the other thing there is the 648 big fish that we have here. It hardly fought at all. Like, when you watch them, like, that fish hardly fought at all compared to, like,
that thing bust.
that was unreal.
my
When it, like, hog
God.
rolled,
Thought that's a big fish.
it was
You got
huge.
that all on film, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dynamite.
But the thing, that fish, a 2 or 3 pounder fought way harder than that. When you hooked a 3 pounder, you thought you had a 9 on. Like, it was unreal how powerful it was. And the big fish, Marley, we didn't know how big that fish was till he rolled.
Wow.
And then it was like, oh my God.
It wasn't.
And then we were moving like 6 miles an hour. And we're like, he's moving, the current's moving. And I'll never forget, he was at the back of the boat. And it comes to the top, and it didn't even jump. It just did like a barrel roll on the surface. And it seemed like it lasted forever. That fish is so damn big. Then we got him in the net, and he was just huge.
Did you get it from deep?
Yeah, like 34, 35 feet.
Did you have to fizz it?
No, because we basically put it in the boat, took one more drift in like that exact little area, because he had hooked one in pre-fish that I think was bigger than that fish. That jumped and broke him off right there. And then we went right in and weighed that fish in. That fish wasn't in my live well.
You took it right
12
away?
minutes, yeah.
Solid.
It probably wasn't in, but he put it in the live well. By 15 minutes later, it had been weighed in and let go.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And we were right close to the launch. And there's no point in, like, as soon as we got it in, we were like, there's no point in even worrying about hurting this fish. Let's just take time out of our day and go do this.
That's a great decision.
Yeah.
And I think that, that's...
It's not like you're gonna call that.
No.
Yeah.
No, like...
There's no sense in having it in your live well all day. Not
No.
a piece like that.
Yeah.
Like, I can see guys who ran 2 hours that they're not going to come run one in. But we were
Sure.
less than a mile from the
Oh, yeah.
launch.
We were close.
So you might as well get it over with, get that fish back, and then he's perfectly fine, right? I think that's a great rule FLW has.
Yeah. You can weigh in at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was lots of guys
That
that
is good.
day, on day one of that event, who had like 22 pounds, and that like 12 o'clock, they just came weighed in and pulled their boats out. Because they were like, we're not burning any more fish. Let's just get it
Yeah.
over with.
Done.
Right? That's kind of nice, right? Especially if you had a long week pre-fishing. This is the bag you're going with.
I'm gonna do
In
that
in
next
other
tournament.
news,
Next
who will
tournament.
be on our next webcast?
Oh.
Ryan Flero won
Yeah.
the B1.
I just wanted to say this. Darlene Harrison said her daughter said that when Ian gets a bear, she will be helping gut it and drag it out.
Nice,
So you got another girl.
awesome. That's dope.
Cool. Thank
I
you.
can't wait
very
to
much.
I can't wait to get pictures.
It's gonna be good.
This
And
is
they'll
gonna be
make sure
awesome.
that you're safe and careful.
Nice.
What about Mark? Are they going to make sure?
I don't
what
he's
about
safe?
me,
say
Amber?
anything
Cameramen
about
are a dime a dozen these days.
Yeah.
We got them lined up down the street.
Oh boy.
Man, if the bear rushes, like if you're gonna get taken down by the bear, make sure you put that new HD camera like on the ground, nice and soft, pointed at your direction. Take about 20 feet into the lens and then go at it. And if he gets on
Make
top
sure
of
the lighting's right.
yeah, if he gets on top of you and you're within 40 yards, I'm like 85% sure that I'll hit the bear, not you.
You're a dick.
Take pictures of it with your phone, too.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I'll get on the Facebook Live and be like, "Holy shit, look at Mark!"
Yeah. That would be you too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's gonna be an awesome trip.
man.
I'm totally excited. Next time, so Flero won the B1. The king of Cornwall. That's what I'm gonna call him from now
He's
on.
one- and you know
Yeah.
what? He's got a. Well, we won't talk.
We
about
know
it.
he's gonna be on the
We'll
next.
talk- we'll talk
yeah,
to him about it.
he's a wild man.
Is he?
He's got it figured out, and it's not from being a bass fisherman. It's from being a walleye guy and showing up and catching bass. But he's gonna be on the next webcast. He was gonna be on tonight, but he's in Quebec hunting moose on top of a mountain. He didn't have enough Wi-Fi signal to run the old Skype. So we'll have him on the next one or the one after that.
Yeah, I got some good stories with him.
Do you?
Well, yeah, some things. Yeah,
Are you allowed to talk about them?
yeah, sure.
Tundra, you're
Why
behind
don't
the
we
scenes
wait
guy.
for him to talk about
We
it?
will.
Let's do that.
We will. You got anything, Tundra, before we wrap
I'm
this
good,
up?
man.
What time is it, guys?
Good, it's 9:11.
Nice.
Shit.
Good number.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Yeah. Random fact, Amber and I
Yeah.
both have number 11 tattooed on us.
Really?
Yes.
It's
and
my number.
so I got it.
It's my
And you know what? It's going to be a lot easier to find another girl who likes the number 11 rather
than a
than
girl who
Amber.
says Amber. Yeah.
Just in case shit goes bad.
Just cross out the 11 and put 12.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that was an awesome show. Do we have anything more up there?
How about
How
go Jays
the
go?
Jays, yeah.
Jays. I'm not a huge
Kicking
baseball
them
fan.
one.
I really like playoff baseball.
That's all I watch.
I really, really like the, it's a scientific game. It's really thought out. I really like, and I've always been a Red Sox fan, and I've lived by this model that if after every 87 years the Red Sox will win a World Series, anybody can do anything. And I often think about that.
The Leafs.
Never happening.
Yeah.
Shawn, you pumped up for baseball?
Stoked.
Yeah? You like baseball?
Love baseball.
Gonna go to a couple games.
I usually go to a few playoff games. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
You're a
last-
big basketball
Last year,
fan, right?
yeah, I really like the Raptors.
Really?
Yeah,
Why
I'm
don't you
going to
tell
the
us-
practice
Shit,
on
you're right
Tuesday.
into everything.
Is
Yeah.
there anything you don't do, Shawn?
Why don't you tell us what
Shave.
happened to
He
you
doesn't
Shave.
at
He
the
doesn't
Raptors
shave?
game?
I don't
Doesn't
shave,
shave.
yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us what happened to you at the Raptors game?
Last March?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was there a little early, and a guy approached me, and I was there with my girlfriend, and he said, "Do you guys ever wonder how people get picked to go down and compete in the contests?" I said, "Well, not anymore. What do you got going on?"
Nice.
And he said, "How do you feel about karaoke?" I'm like,
No
"Oh,
way.
I got a voice like a songbird." And he says, "Why don't you sign here, and we'll send somebody up to get you, and you'll come down and you'll sing on center court." So it was me and one other guy. I'm like, I can do this. You only got to be better than that one guy.
Yeah, for
No-
sure.
No problem. He was
Terrible.
horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible, and he went first. So I could have probably been there and done the song and sign and won. Like, it would have been that easy. But yeah, I ended up winning a trip to Jamaica down to
Nice.
the
Wow.
Sandals Resort there. Went
Do you
down
remember
there.
what
Sounds
song
fun.
you sang?
I sang "Don't Worry, Be Happy"?
Yes, you
Nice.
Yeah, I
did.
did. Yeah, and I had
That's awesome.
I had the Lowry jersey on. Instead of saying "Don't worry, be happy," I said "Don't worry, we got Lowry."
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
The place
Oh,
went
yeah,
nuts.
How many
Yeah.
people are in that? Like
Nice.
28,000 people?
Yeah, there was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty important game.
Wow, man. That
Yeah.
were you
I
nervous
think
at
it
all?
was like their 50th win or something. Yeah, it was.
Were you nervous?
Was I nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah, I was ready to puke and pass out.
No, yeah.
For sure.
Good for you.
You should
for
try
doing
bear
that.
hunting
Yeah.
Yeah,
bow.
I've been there and
And an
done
amateur
that.
hunter
with a
hat.
newbie
Yeah.
bow guy.
Yeah.
Thinks
This
it's
will be the
Robin
best.
Hood.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
Yeah, you wait till you get that adrenaline
Oh.
rush when the
I
bear
need
comes
you
in.
to sign the beneficiary.
Yeah,
form,
the
please.
waiver?
Yeah. No.
Next
for-
webcast, we'll be sitting here all covered in scars. We'll be wearing like these T-shirts with holes in them.
There'll be no mark.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeez. My
Mark's-
wife's watching this.
Mark's
you know.
hat and arm. That's just
Oh,
what I
boy.
managed to salvage from the bear.
I'll be
Oh,
sending
man.
Joan a message of things that I want.
Yeah, like everybody's been doing on Facebook. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for everybody for all the Facebook support, all the messages to get better. I really appreciate that. Subscribe to Fear Fishing on the YouTube channel. You can also catch us on SoundCloud and iTunes. Subscribe to us on Facebook. Thank you everybody for taking the time out of your busy week to join us.
Keep an eye on Facebook. So I think we're going to go live at some point this weekend. Are we not on Sunday?
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will do something
Okay.
I
awesome.
hope so.
Okay.
Maybe we can get a picture of you like laying over a log with me behind it with my bow.
Your foot on my
My
head.
foot on the back.
Lucas wants you to dress up as a bear and make it interesting.
Wants me to dress up a bear? Why don't I just take my shirt off?
Whoa! So please subscribe. Thanks for everybody for watching, and we will catch you on the next webcast.
Thanks for coming, Shawn.
Thank you.
Yes,
right.
thank you, Shawn.
Thanks,
Oh,
Shawn.
thanks for having me, guys.